I don't think that we had a worse map in tow to start things off on a series.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see how it goes. And Cali going to pick up a big two-piece with that nade right off the rip. Getting some early P1 time is going to be the side of Atlantis. Are they able to hold and sustain some momentum here? That's going to be another 3 dead in the feed. Anthony and Squid finding a couple on through. You got Seb and Cali as well for the side of Atlantis. And then you got not me, so Lacoste, Massacre, and TH on the side of Houston Spartans, and that's a clean 4 dead for the Spartans with a good chunk of time left on this P1. And guess what, Aggressive? They got P2 side as well for now.
Absolutely. They're in full control here pretty much and all around as the members of Houston Spartans. They are able to retaliate pretty well. Go in for these instantaneous rotations. Make sure you're all the way across to the other side of the map. Good shots coming in from Not Miso, though, all the way flying. He's going to be able to track things out beautifully from the underside of the vault. They are going to be able to catch out a little bit of a rotation here. They are trying to play for a little bit more on those long games here. The members of Atlantis, they need to try and figure something out here quickly because time ticking away and the points not in their favor. As now the members of Houston Spartans, they're in the lead.
On the hill they go, getting broke at the moment by Atlantis, looking to take that lead right back. They have the back line in their hands. Are they able to find the kills to get anywhere with it? Massacre with a 3, TH fighting 1 in the back, and that's going to be a clean sweep through the hill for Houston, who's going to take that lead, look to push up the map just a little bit. P3 is looming here in less than 20 seconds. P4 rotations are going to be what's important here. Yeah, I know we're making our way towards P3, but you're going to want to play that top art and work those back spawns now. 2 players already trying to do that for Houston Spartans. They don't have much information on the player for Atlantis up top there. That's going to be Squid finding that kill. Does get traded out. So Houston Spartans in a pretty decent spot as P3 pops.
Yeah, you see where this is going to go for them. It's one after the other. The members of Atlantis still trying to turn this one around. Never mind. They do have a tiny bit of an opportunity to try and make this one work. TH really being the game changer for the team for us. A lot of these fights, but it's just not going to be enough for them. As the members of Atlantis still holding down strong. The map of Vault really working its magic here for a lot of these hard points as Lacoste trying to be the hero of this story. Get into a position, make sure they clear out each and every spot. Lacoste slipping past the radar for a lot of these players here as they're able to hold. And Houston Spartans, they just have the point under control. These last 15 seconds should be theirs.
See what they're able to get done here, my friend. Looking pretty good for the boys in blue at the moment, but Atlantis are roaming around that P4, and that kill on Massacre is going to be big for them, so that's going to clear up the majority of that site for the moment, but going to have a couple more players trying to work the way through the front. That's a tough break to make on the P4. If you are the side of Houston Spartans, it's going to be a lot of work on this gunfight here, and you're going to go down. You do get 2. Out of, I believe that would have been, no, it's right this time. So that is going to be Miso getting those couple of kills. And that's going to be the break for Houston.
Yeah, they really needed this, but time's just taken away here. You can tell that the confidence of the members of Houston Spartans to really play through up against Atlantis here. They're not really afraid of anything. Looking up a nade from the side of Miso, possibly getting a frag or 2 from these positions. These hard points are just so difficult to break into. A lot of teams are not going to be able to do anything here. Whoever takes this point first, they're just easily going to be able to hold the inner position. 2 singular spots that the players can even come out from. It's just like... that hard point's over. You just need to play for the next one. Whoever gets that point is just going to be able to hold down for it forever.
P4 is probably one of the largest money hills I feel like we have in this entire map set, and it was taken advantage there by Houston, who now have a 58-point lead, and things are starting to get late quick for the side of Atlantis now. Needing some big kills, trying to get that re-break. Squid and Cali will combine for 3. Not that they'll stay alive on the hill just yet. Squid will come up and get straight onto Lacoste after finding 2. Anthony trying to find up another one onto TH. He is going to get taken down. So it's going to be Houston maintaining that hill pressure for the moment, staying alive. Not Miso and Massacre. They'll duo up.
Pretty much at full control once again. 30 seconds left. There's no way to do anything here. Lacoste just slipping and sliding across for these last few kills. The man, the myth, the legend to go in for these shots. SEH coming alive here for the plays as well as for all the members of Houston Spartans. They're just under full control. This map is theirs and they're just going to keep on playing to their strengths.
A good job so far. Trades go through and out the kill feed, and now you get a couple more out of Massacre and TH, and that's going to be another clean sweep. But you do have those spawns in the back, and that's going to be good information out of the side of Houston Spartans to know where these players are. Now just trying to win some of these gunfights, and that's going to be Atlantis stepping up tall to the task. Callie and Anthony find a couple. Anthony does get taken down, but Callie will find another one. Seb around the outside, going to pick it up and allow Atlantis to get a hold of this P2, try to work back into this game ever so slightly.
It's going to be a tough one. As long as they held down on that P2, it's going to be working out wonders for them. But for the members of Houston Spartans, they don't really need to try and fight into this anymore either. They can just play for the rotation if they want to. And it's going to be able to find a bit more of a better position for his entire team to cut down over onto the rotation. But you can tell that with the last couple of points given away, the members of Houston Spartans, they do have 166 on the board. But the thing is, the members of Houston Spartans, they're still able to capitalize. Look at the positions that they have. As not me, so they're going to be able to do so much. But now we're going to be jumping on down over onto a listen in from the side of Atlantis to see exactly what the game plan is to try and mount a comeback here.
See,
One pillar, one beacon, one pillar.
One's close to the car, weak in the back, weak.
Bottom right. I'm in you.
One shot on him. Dead. I got stuck.
We're still looking for Han got me in the back. Nice, good shit. Play life, good. Play life.
Yeah, one pillar.
I'm letting you trigger. They're pushed up. Push the party.
Go see that.
No, what's mid? Got me mid.
No, one
Got me mid. You have to play last good. Nice, good shit. We spawned. We got spawns. Also.
Out of that.
Yeah. I do believe that Shake is having a little bit of a sideline problem there, but for now, we're going to need to see where this is going to be going because I am questioning a lot of the plays that could be done, but I do like the fact that the members of Atlantis, they are confident in their overall comps. You can tell the team is not quiet, even though they are in a pretty big deficit here for this particular map. And now, again, it's just that money hard point that this P4 is just so hard to break into. What do you do here? If Atlantis just have full control, or if Spartans have full control, good luck trying to take over this position.
Yeah, not too much time left on the P4, and the comms were all right. You had some play calls here through Atlantis, and I didn't really call that out to be an issue when we were listening in there. So that's not really the problem. Just not winning as many gunfights and staying on top of the trades the way you would like. Map control not always been the best, but you're here on the P1 still battling. You maintain control for the moment. Massacre trying to be the thorn in your side. Anthony will pick up that trade and maintain presence on the P1 for the moment. Has to back up, wait a little bit for his teammates to come through. And they are going to go 2 for 2 on trades. Nobody on the hill for the moment. Seb trying to make up for lost time. That's going to be Houston Spartans right back on the P1.
So well for a lot of these rounds, and it's working wonders for them. But for the members of Atlantis, they need to go in big here. If they lose this hard point, it could just all be over for them. Still a chance, though, as Massacre doesn't really swat out the player. Tiny Callie just stuck around the corner. He's going to be able to survive. 10 seconds left. The members of Atlantis finally showcasing some signs of life to their overall setup. As Houston Spartans, they take over the last point because Atlantis, they give this one up to try and establish a little bit of a better rotation for this next one.
That might be what they're trying to do. It's working so far here on the P2. For the side of Atlantis, still down a considerable amount, but you got to work hard and get back into this game. Still fighting their tails off. 3 dead in the feed. Seb and Squid finding 2. And that is going to allow Atlantis to try to get over that 150 mark, but that's going to be a kill out of Massacre, traded out luckily by Callie. So Squid on a force spree finds his way onto the hill, spots the one player in back. Massacre and his friend, the Toasty, all the way in back, trying to get shots up towards Cypher Nest, but TH is going to take care of that player and Seb. Gets traded out, Callie Anthony, but it is going to stay Houston's hill for the moment. Squid will take care of that. A couple of seconds on scrap here. I think if you're Houston Spartans, you may just back on up, play that P4 side, but looks like a couple more forward presence as their plan.
Yeah, they're doing well here at the end of the day, and that's all that you need to see. 10 more points, and they do have it under the bag here. But for now, going for the reset because there's a good chance you might not going to be able to win this one out, but instead it's just clean-up duty for the members of the Houston Spartans. Map number 1 going in their favor, as Atlantis, they just didn't really have a good read on this particular map.
No, it's a tough one for sure. Vault Hardpoint is a tough way to start your series off. This one not over just yet. Stuck at the 249 mark is going to be the Houston Spartans. Do get that final tick on through. They'll take the map number 1. Gentlemen, you are fighting an uphill battle at the moment, and as sea creatures, hills, not your terrain.
Actually not on this particular map. A lot of the utility as well, having a tiny bit of trouble here trying to set everything up, but these younger players, you just need to give them a chance here, get the momentum rolling onto their side, but not Miso doing wonders, and instantly it's just all but over. Houston Spartans in full control. They just took another round for themselves. This doesn't feel like S&D anymore. It feels like a deathmatch instead.
Oh, that's just filthy work out of Miso. I'm not sure who that last player was. Just wasn't able to sneak away with their life there in the last moments. But my goodness, you have the 2-piece to get it down to the 2v1. I was like, or the 2v2. And I was like, okay, now you have a chance here if you're Atlantis. But not Miso, just steps up to the task, goes absolutely bananas. Big little 2-piece out through top secret. Nice work there onto a 3 spree. Finds 3 in that round, does Miso. So now you got a 2-round lead for Houston Spartans.
I need to see where this is going to go here. Absolutely. It's Houston Spartans now back in the driver's seat again, still continuing possibly, but Massacre instantly answers back in kind. The trades are looking so much better from the members of Houston Spartans here in comparison to what we witnessed from them in the first initial series. They look to be in a bit more control for this particular map, and they look a lot more warmer in comparison to map number 1, and that's kind of in compared to series number 1, and that's pretty much expected because you just played through a series while Atlantis, they've been sitting on the sidelines watching instead.
Yeah, I think that's a huge advantage for Houston Spartans as well. They have a game plan in the search and destroy. They are executing it to perfection, get another first blood in the B bomb site wide open, and just put it down from there. And now if you're Atlantis, you're starting to look around and you're down 3-0. Seb is yet to find a kill. He's struggling, needs to get something going, help his team out. Looking at a B hit here. 2 through mid, 1 over towards each bomb site. Even fan here for the side of Houston Spartans, just gaining any information. Going to make a rotation off of that. I think they have a pickling that the play is going over towards B. A long water route here out of Seb, just trying to find a kill through boat. And I really like this kill to try, or this position to try to find an easy kill. It is quite the extended route, but now he's all the way back in their back garden spawn, but he may run into a player ready for that flank in top office. The shots do come through, nothing falling just yet. Seb is going to stay alive. Bomb will go down for Atlantis.
Gonna need to see where this is gonna go here for them. It's the time just taken away up till the very last couple of seconds for this plan to come in. You can tell Houston Spartans still in a very precarious and better position for these shots to connect. TH showcasing this better strength of the movement here coming out from their roster as Houston Spartans in full control, and they get the defuse under the bag as well. Pretty much done and dusted. 4-0 for this starting half here. Houston Spartans just look to be completely indestructible.
It does not get much better than this. I guess if you didn't have a single player fall any one of the rounds, that's pretty much the only way that gets better if you're Houston Spartans, but you're continuing to put together rounds and put together games. I can put together an entire series for you. You're looking good so far. Still have the control to play out in the rest of this map. So can't rest your head just yet. I know it's starting to get a little bit late for some of these players, but we still got to grind, gentlemen. Houston Spartans, 4 players out over towards A. Not a whole lot of resistance. It's like they're reading these playmaking out of Atlantis almost perfectly. Get 1 player isolated on the bomb site out of sheer luck and vision making on both rounds.
They're doing so much work here for a lot of these fights. Still doing wonders for them, but the shots coming in from the members of Houston Spartan, their aim is just sublime. How do you fight this if the mechanical skill gap is just a little bit too much? The members of Atlantis just can't really handle this on the same level.
No, it's
Like,
tough. Not a lot of kills. Unfortunately, not a lot of kills going around for the boys of Atlantis. Just, not really getting there all that great. It's just been a lot of tough gunfights here for the side of Atlantis, just struggling to put something together. Miso only falling once on a 3 spree at the moment. It's pretty cool sailing right now. He's still got a player AFK in Massacre, or maybe he's just trying to lock. No, he was AFK. Now he's entering the game. And yeah, now you got a moment here. If you're Atlantis, got to find a first blood, got to find something. You don't want to get 6.
And don't want to be in a situation like this. One more round, possibly for themselves. Massacre just goes around the corner. TH is going to be the one to take out Lacoste as well. They're just not really giving much away to the members of Atlantis. Could be all but over. Last 1 player remaining being Squid. The nuke just comes out and finish everything off. It's just done, right? Like, what do you do? 6-0 for map number 2 as well. Houston's
The decisive one, a 2-0 lead in the series for the Houston Spartans. We got Atlantis versus them boys. And you got on the defensive side, it is going to be Houston Spartans in the moment, trying to find something, get this momentum stopped. 1 tick through already for the side of Atlantis. One tick already through, and there you go.
All right. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, the names are going to be flipped over. The members of Houston Spartans are on the right side, and the members of Atlantis are on the left. Just to clarify any form of confusion, ladies and gentlemen, we need to make sure that everyone knows this. Because of how fast the game really started, we couldn't really fix out the issues on that end, but what we do know is the names from the side of Houston Spartans. That's all fixed up and ready, ladies and gentlemen, as the plays are already being made. And Massacre, he's just causing a massacre to happen on the hard point.
Yeah, stopping that momentum for Atlantis for the moment, down about 4 lives. It's something you want to keep in the back of your mind here if you're Atlantis, still working on that A point. You have clearance for the moment. Houston Spartans still ganging up, trying to get that top cat control. Going to be so important. Massacre, unfortunate teammate there. Going to stop that presence. Just going to jump on Hale, trying to make something happen. But not much is going to happen there. Less than 15 lives left, but 1:30 for Atlantis. Try to work B.
See where they're going to go with this one, too. A little bit of a positioning gap coming through from the members. Houston, if they're not careful, Atlantis, them getting that first tick off, it's going to be big for them as they need to hold on for 1 minute 20 seconds alive. Still in the favor of Houston Spartans though, so that's going to be big for them. But overall, it seems as though control looks to be in their ballpark. But look at the positioning coming through from the members of Houston. They're bleeding on these lives as quickly as they possibly can, going in for the spawn holds, and they're not really allowing them to go in for anything big here. Massacre wasting time from the front lines, and he just gonna keep on going with these kills.
Yeah, that's a good positioning there for Squid in bottom vault, just trying to be a nuisance, see if he can find some of these players for Houston that were quite advanced up the map, as you mentioned, trying to get them trapped in the spawn. But Atlantis not panicking, getting some gunfight wins to try to work out there. Still 3 players up, not towards the B site yet, but that last kill will get a 4 dead, and they have a 4 on B.
Oh no.
The spawns, the new spawns. So far out by P4. Are you going to be able to contest now if you're Houston? That's the question.
Overconfidence. We talked about this as well here, Shake. They could be giving away a lot more than they should have. 4-on-4 here. They need to try and contest this. The kill's going in their favor. One more pick off here coming in from either side, and this is now a glorified S&D at this point. One life remaining from either end. Houston, they're the first one to die. Anthony could be causing the problem. Lacoste's going to be able to find out one. Down over to a 3v3 here. Time to get away. 21 seconds left. The position's not really looking that good. And 2 going in for another. Squid coming in from the back, being able to shut down Lacoste. And it's all up to Massacre, the man, the myth, the legend. 30 seconds left on the clock. He needs to try and go in for something big. Positions not really in their favor, but Massacre still has a chance and an opportunity, but the kills just not working in his favor, and the Houston Spartans stages from the ball harder than you can imagine. Oh my god, this should not have happened.
Oh, no, not at all. After giving up that A site, you felt like they had a decent chance, but that 4 dead is just so crippling now. You spawn all the way back on P4 if you get enough presence up that B street. And that's exactly what happened. Houston then now has to funnel through the front. I mean, maybe you could take a player up top cat and maybe go through bottom vault, but when Massacre was the last player up in that back trophy position, just got that last trade, it was just too much to do. Just laying down the corner by those vault doors. What's going to be Atlantis? They walk away with the opening offense.
I think so much in a lot of these rounds. This is what you want to see here, but still a chance here. You can tell that the members of Houston Spartans taking this a little bit more seriously and a bit more differently here in this particular instance. Not me, so going in for the big frags and the trades, just looking a lot more cleaner and better for the members of Houston Spartans. Arguably, they are a lot better of a team when they are the ones who are initiating a lot of the fights on the attack. Not as strong on the defensive end, but still, they need to survive and go in for a bit more of these frags because Live's advantage, is still in the favor of Atlantis here.
Atlantis looking pretty good on the control. I guess it's never too late to wake up and smell the coffee and get something going for you. Can't have that reverse sweep if you're not down 2-0. Magic starts with the face of adversity. That's exactly what Atlantis found themselves in, now trying to stop this offensive presence that Houston Spartans has got towards this A site. One tick already gone, working on the second. Massacre trying to flow on through, gets the kill. Top cat position will take him down. Anthony coming out on top of the trades for the moment. Callie with the chow onto the point will take that player down, clearing that 3rd tick of progress off, but 2 already through for Houston.
I think so much in a lot of these fights, and that's exactly what you want to see here. Lacoste missed out on the shots here. Antil is going to be the one to shut him down. Instead, lives bleeding through for the members of Houston Spartans. They are down by 3. This is not looking that good for them with 42 seconds in. They are going to be able to get the point at the bare minimum, but even then, Houston Spartans, they need to make sure they don't give away a lot of these lives anymore.
I mean, you get a 4 dead, the round could be over. There's 3, 1 player, Squid. Him staying alive there is just so massive for the side of Atlantis to try to work back towards this B defense. 1 tick looking to already come through for Houston Spartans. Looking to come alive.
What
Top art taken care of. That's a big 3 dead. Massacre able to stay alive. That's a massive kill. Not able to do much more with it. So you do stop the bleeding if you are Atlantis for the moment. 1:30 to still deal with, but live starting to become a problem here for Houston.
What?
Only 7 now for them. I mean, it's only a 2 of a separation, but it matters to get those lives to the hill.
TH has that movement. The guy just runs across and does a these times only play from the sidelines. They're going to be able to get a bit more of a spacing going in for their team, but even then, the members of Atlantis, they just have better lives. Massacre bleeding them out just a slight bit here. Position coming in from Seb. He's now compromised, needs to give up that opening spot. They need to get themselves on the point pretty soon, but with the lives not being in their favor, Houston Spartans, they're just completely done for. As long as Seb stays alive in this one spot, they just can't get themselves onto this point anymore. Callie's going to be able to shut down too. It's all up to the last. It's up to not me, so to try and go in for something big, but looking at the positions from all the members of Atlantis, he's instantly going to be traded. It's a 2-0, and Houston Spartans, they're just falling.
Yeah, this is not great. You don't want to let a team like Atlantis hang around. You never know. You let the confidence start brewing, and dangerous things could happen for you. And Seb in that top art was something you mentioned was just so influential that entire round. And defensively, that's what it's about over towards B, making sure you can lock down that top art and just be as sneaky as possible. He hung out right behind the door, knowing someone was going to try to flank, maybe think they were free, and the rat trap snaps, and it's to a 2-0 lead for Atlantis.
Absolutely. So what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the game really starts to come in on alive. Because now Houston Spartans, they need to try and go in for the big play here and try to go in for that reverse sweep. Cali has been an influential player for a lot of these rounds. His shots have been counting. A lot of these engagements, yeah, he is going 12 and 15, but his engagements purely on the basis of impact frags has been a lot more better in comparison to his teammates. But for now, you can tell Houston Spartans taking things a lot more seriously. They're making sure they're not giving away kills unnecessarily, and they're playing for the trade-offs. And with not Miso going in for frags like this, he's climbing up that leaderboard.
Climbing ever so slowly. Defense needs to lock in here. Doing good so far. Only one tick given up through the beginning parts of this round. Lives in a great spot for Houston as well. Really starting to take that dominance. You didn't want Atlantis to walk away with this thing 3-0. And if they do walk away with it, it's really tough to win 3 rounds in a row and control on ball. And that's what Houston's tasked with here. Miso on the 5 spree will make his way towards top art. Does pick up a kill, gets towards 6. And that cruise missile should be looming for him pretty soon here. Massacre going to get a good kill, almost turns around and goes absolutely wild. Up top, Cat, not to be happen, teammate with the trade. Is going to stop another offensive push for Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis are not going to be able to do much here, but at the bare minimum, a lot of these spawn traps have instantly been snuffed out coming through from the members of Atlantis. Houston now, they need to try and work their way back in to these points to try and reclaim this. Massacre good for the first opening kill, over towards 1. Lacoste slides across, able to live here. A little bit dicey for the play. 30 seconds left to try and hold these ones down. They can't give any more ticks moving forward because Houston Spartans, they need to send a message in this particular round that they're not out here to play. It doesn't matter what happened in these first 2 rounds because the team has now done a complete 180.
Yeah, they're running and gunning right now, and that's what made them successful throughout this whole thing. And now it's a 20-2 shellacking in the lives department. 2 kicks do come through for the side of Atlanta, so at least you come away with something. If this does go towards that round number 5, that'll help that tick count. But if you just let Houston Spartans wake up, this is not going to be good.
Absolutely. The Spartans are just under so much pressure. And it seems that under the pressure, the team is just able to perform so well too. To get a dominant 19-1 on the lives department for this particular map is just completely unheard of, because on this map, multi-fragging is very difficult considering how many different open angles there are and how many different positions you can get shot from too. Houston Spartans, though, still an upwards climb. They can't really lose out on this because Atlantis, they just need 1 more point to win. So they can't relax just yet. Maybe if they do get 1 more round in their favor, then the momentum will be more than enough for them to snowball this game in their favor completely.
And they stopped the offense, which was something that Atlantis looked pretty good on, and they did it convincingly so. Looking for more of the same here, but offensively this time. Atlantis trying their best to fend it off, but the pressure already there. It's taking a half on A already for Houston Spartans. Do get flushed off of the hill for the moment, so looking for a reset, but B Street is all the way open. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the play, but it looks like it's just a hit through mid doors as a different attack towards that A site. But now here's a little bit of presence towards the B site for Houston.
Yeah, the underside of the vault being fully controlled over as well. It's going to be a little bit of an issue for them. It's all up to Cali to maybe find this opening kill over onto Massacre, but instead it's going to be Sweat to come in for the backup. TH, good for the shots. They're going to be able to find the kills, but the engagement's taken a little bit too lightly here coming in from either side, as Houston now splitting their man force up into 2 different positions, trying to go in for double ticks as much as they possibly can. Split the attention, play for the time here as Massacre able to live, go through so much, but still on towards the point. They need to try and pick one. Members of Atlantis, they're scrambling the communication lines completely. Rambunctious, but never mind. Seven's going to be able to shut down Massacre with a kill from the car. And now they need to try and figure something out soon, because look at the ticks here, Shake. They have both points down to 2 ticks already. This couldn't have been any worse.
No, it's a really bad spot for Atlantis to be in. You're looking at around 5. If you can't hit that stop button immediately, you do have a good little life lead building here, but you're going to dig into that if you're Houston Spartans. Not able to get anything towards one of these points just yet, and it's just been enough to stop the progress out of Atlantis. And now you have less than 30 seconds left on the clock in Houston, under 10 lives.
Yeah, this is bad. They spread their man force out a little bit too much, and this could be costing them big here if they're not careful. The ticks are going to be going through as the members of Houston Spartan need to be a lot more careful in their overall engagements. Lives not looking as clean, but down over to the last 2 differences as they do get the tick going for themselves, and B being 1 point away. They just need a good kill streak going for themselves, and they're instantly going to be the ones to be in favor. But look at the lives already in a pretty massive detriment. The Squid, they do get another kill, and this could all but be over just because of the lives here. TH able to find a couple of frags from the sidelines. The Kosi is going to be able to shut down another. Down over to the last 3 players. This is going to be a miracle and a half if the members of Houston Spartans are going to be able to take this.
Houston Spartans A site done. 2 lives left, though. It's going to be an absolute masterclass needed. See what picks are going to come through. Big gunfight already setting up for TH. Able to get away with his life and hit that regen.
Oh, no.
Get that kill. No, and that should just about do it for the round. In Atlantis, they'll stick around for the map number. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, map number 4. It has been do or die time for a little bit for Atlantis, and they look to continue to fight and stay alive here in the losers round, fighting for their champs' lives here, as well as the Houston Spartans with a 2-1 lead in the series. But in Atlantis, with the lead early on, I'm Shake along with Aggressive in the booth. Things kicked off. Atlantis still continuing to roll along here. Not facing much resistance, maintaining that P2 side as well. Almost a 30-point lead amounting here. Still a few seconds of scrap left. Houston Spartans just trying to make their way towards this P2 side. Going to work through Kitchen. Trying to find some of these kills, but continuing to get cut down. Is the side of Houston finally getting a couple of kills through the back, but only 1 player left up is going to get dealt with by Seb. That trade does come out, but Houston, they're in a bad spot, down 40 already.
And they're going to need to try and contest this one as quickly as they possibly can. That first P1 is just so difficult to break into if your opponents are in a little bit of a better position here. But overall, timing is pretty much present and ready. As you can tell that the members of Houston Spartans now looking for something a little bit bigger here. Able to spawn out, go in for the rotational pickoffs as not Miso has the better position. He goes in for the hold. He's able to keep things going for their entire team. As for now, the members of Houston Spartan under full control. They don't have anything to worry about, but they need to secure the rotationals into this next point.
Need to continue to roll. Good P2 out of the side of Houston just to get right back into this thing. But now you're going to have a good setup for Atlantis P4 side in their hand as well. They do have Houston Spartans working on that, but you're going to have Atlantis well aware of that play going to come through for Houston Spartans. Just trying to find these kills, come out on top of the trades. It's exactly what they do, and P3 will be theirs for now.
They're going to need to try and go in for a little bit more of a better hold at the end of the day. What is the real play for them as Houston Spartans still in the opening, but amazingly the members of Atlantis, they're going to be able to flood through together. But TA, sneaky position, he's going to be able to take out 2, and immediately the retake call coming through from the members of Atlantis, getting put down to a halt, to a grinding hold, mind you, because they're just not going to be able to go in for the hold of Massacre. He's been going in for these spawn camps so beautifully, and this is what you want to see. These spawn traps coming through from Massacre is like the game changer for them, because this is stopping the members of Atlantis from setting up proper rotational lines onto that next one. 50 seconds left on the clock. They need to try and go in for the retake or try to fight Massacre to get into better spots for these rotations.
Yeah, Massacre is just absolutely lighting up the board right now. 8-5, 9-7 out of Not Miso, 11-8 out of Lacoste, to the tune of a 50-point lead for the Houston Spartan boys. Massacre, big 2-piece. is finding a third as well. Does finally get taken down in the bathroom. So that's going to be Atlantis taking control of the hill for now. Lacoste in the back is going to find two, looking for the third. The rotation does come out to play his life through bedroom, and that player in Anthony is going to pick up two and stays alive for the moment. Can't quite find the hill. That's going to be Houston Spartans over the 100-point mark.
They're doing so well for a lot of these fights. Kashi, though, could cause some problems from the sidelines, and yes, he does. The members of Atlantis, they're going to be able to get this point back on the board, set up a proper rotational line. That seems to be the job of Massacre for a lot of these fights here. And I do believe that Houston, they're just not really risking this anymore. They're going to give up these 10 seconds. They're going to give up the extra points and just set up a better spot and a better hold here onto this next point.
Sink your teeth in, Houston Spartans. What do you have for us on the P1? It did not go well for you last time. Looking for different turns of fortune. You're going to get 3 dead in the feed, but the last player alive in Kashi is going to be able to find one. Squid onto the hill, trying to take out the lead for Houston Spartans. Squid going to find another one. Allow his teammates to get some time on the hill. Massacre playing for this P2 side massively already. Goes up the zip, trying to make some noise to Top Cat. Massacre going to go ahead and find himself too. Great play through the bottom, looking for more. Can't quite stay alive. Anthony going to maintain that P2 side for his team.
Yeah, they're doing so well for a lot of the engagements, but good lord, the members of Atlantis, they're going to be able to stabilize themselves so beautifully here. But immediately, the members of Houston Spartans, they're able to answer back in kind. The shots just keep on connecting. The head glitch coming through from Seb could just give him the edge that they need here over on the opposite side of the pool, but it's just not going to be enough. Positions far superior and better as the members of Houston Sport, again, they don't really care about the last couple of ticks. They're trying to set themselves up for the rotationals. They have better spots, but Atlantis, they just reached P2 first.
Yeah, and that's going to be a key to success. Whoever stays ahead of rotations, now you're right knocking on the door. If you are Atlantis, but you're going to find a way into the hill just to contest for a second, be a nuisance, not able to stay alive long enough. But Houston gets the reinforcements through, and they now are really starting to win some gunfights. 36 seconds left on the hill. Houston Spartans looking to take over and extend this lead.
Doing so well for these engagements, and that's exactly what you want to see. Kashi in a little bit of an awkward spot, trying to break through for his team, but it's just not going to be enough. The members of Houston Spartan, they just have an iron hold, a strong start here for this P2, as they're just not going to be able to try and break through anymore. The next point is where they're really going to need to play for as Atlantis. Do they have the proper rotation line set up? And do they have a proper cross setup as well to stop the members from Houston to try and take over this point? And yes, they do. This is going to be the point where Atlantis finally maybe gets a little bit more of a take point for themselves, but instantly the members of Houston's, they're just ready to answer back in kind.
Houston Spartans about a 45-point lead, looking to take over towards 50, but that's going to be a good 4 dead for the side of Atlantis, who can now try to work back into this game yet again. Houston Spartans have just been a little bit ahead in pacing so far, but Atlantis has kept this game close enough to try to make things interesting. Couple of players on the P3 now trying to stay alive. They're going to get swarmed by Houston Spartans. That's 3 dead. I guess the good news is, with about 20 seconds left, you're in the best spot you could be for this P4, but you need to stay alive, win some more gunfights.
I need to see where this is going to go for them, as this is just not looking as clean as you would have hoped for. But for the members of Houston Spartans, but still, they were able to hold on to the point, and that is unheard of. They do have a lot to play for themselves. It's 193 to 136, ladies and gentlemen. The climb is gonna be steep for the members of Atlantis, but they need to start here as Kashi able to find the trades off. Squid comes in strong with a double here, and Seb comes in even better from the top rope, being able to shut down all of the members of Houston Spartans, instantly sending them back onto spawn, and the reclaim needs to happen here. If Houston loses this fight, it's all but over. They can't really go in for this engagement anymore on this point, and they probably need to go in for a setup for the rotation instead.
Yeah, that's going to be the plan. Maintain the lead as much as you can. Try to get some of these exit kills here. You are going to have Kashi being very influential throughout this entire map. Pushed up now, making sure his team spawns out towards that P2 side. Houston going to be able to find some time, get over that 200-point mark on the end of that P4 as we make our way towards the 3rd set of rotations here, aggressive. And it's just been a really good game of hardpoint, and Houston's just been barely ahead the whole time.
It's mainly because of the rotational plays that they're able to do so much, but Atlantis, when it comes down to these retake situations, they're just looking to be so much cleaner in comparison to the members of Houston. We're just struggling to get a proper foothold in a lot of these fights. But on those money points, you can tell that Houston, they just have a proper read, but their team play and synergy, especially for a couple of these trades, have not really been working out in their favor. Massacre, who was trying to play a little bit more for the spawn trap role, now playing a little bit more with the team because he knows that his team is just having a rough time trying to set up these trades.
Yeah, the hill time out of Miso has been a little bit hard to come by for him. Massacre doing really well around the hill, as well as playing rotations. He's been a benefactor of a lot of early hill time. And that exit time is going to go towards Atlantis. They're looking to get over that 200-point mark, looking a lot better than they did in that map number 1. Gun certainly a lot hotter. In less than a 20-second lead, they did an excellent job closing the gap on the P1.
Doing God's work out here is pretty much what's going to be the necessity for a lot of these rounds, ladies and gentlemen, as well. As you can tell that Houston, back on the driver's seat once again, they have the hard point in their favor. Time ticking away down over the kill feed, lining up in the name of Houston as the respawns finally come through, but it could be a little bit too little too late. This is going to take a miracle and a half to try and go back into this as Houston, they just keep the ball rolling in their court, momentum heavy, and the iron striking hot as Houston Spartans, they take map number 4 in their favor, taking the series on a 3-1